Kiwanis has been in Malaysia since 1976, and our motto is serving the children of the world.
The idea of Kiwanis Academy is to promote our centres. In Kiwanis Malaysia, now we have about, I think, 60 clubs.
When we were looking at all these centres, we felt that these centres, the teachers and the clubs that support these centres, they need a lot of help.
Ini tulis, ini apple merah.
Kiwanis Malaysia Academy is to promote learning, to consolidate all these centres, to streamline the 20 over centres, to do their job better.
Kiwanis Malaysia has 60 over clubs in Malaysia, and from 60 clubs, 20 of them runs a special needs education centre, and as a consequence, we decided to start the academy.
We can really help the community to tackle the problem, especially with special needs children.
So we are really focused in helping, not only the underprivileged children, but also special needs kids over this year.
Right now, about 3% of the population are special needs, and like JKM only have like 500 centres, and Kiwanis have only like 20 over centres. So we certainly need a lot of help from everybody.
After so many years of having, serving children, and through our 17 long-term service projects, we find that we can do better.
So we hope to see more and more people deriving satisfaction in serving the communities and the children.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us in Being Whole, Being Me Series 79. As you'd have seen in this introduction, I think today is a special Friday because we are talking about championing special needs education. Yeah, But before I bring on our honorable guests, I would say, and speakers, right? Let me just welcome our good friends who've joined us today. So I see a couple of you. It'd be nice for you to say hello to us, whether we know you or not. But want to really thank Sandeep. Hi, Sandeep, all the way from India. Thank you for joining us and supporting our show. Hi, Major. It's good to see you. It's nice that you've made time this Friday. Major says, hello, Malar and friends. Thanks a lot for another amazing topic. Looking forward to learning. Of course, my favorite Pleasance Chong, who is, I would say, a super mom to two beautiful children who have special needs, right? And hi, Pleasance, thank you for joining us. And all those who are undercover at the background have joined us. Thank you for joining us. I think today is really special because we all know that education is important. And, when I don't know whether we will call it normal, I'm finding it difficult to find a word, right? But all parents generally, we worry about our children. And we all know that when education is set right for our children, their mind is set right for independent thinking and independent living, right? Despite that, I think you can see the amount parents invest in children's education beyond putting them in a normal education system, right? But if children who don't seem to have special needs need so much of attention, how much more parents with children with special needs will worry, will have anxiety in knowing what to choose, how to choose, where to go, right? And this particular week, we're very privileged to have a group of people not only who champion the cause, but have thought about it to bring everything under one roof so that anyone who is actually looking for information can go. And this week is also special because they've arranged for a symposium. So if you know anyone who has a special needs kid who would be interested in special needs education or anything to do with special needs, just remember to share today's show with them, and hopefully they can join. So without much ado, I think enough of my introduction. It's really a great privilege to bring in the chairperson of KMA, Kiwanis Academy, Datu Fatima Saad.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Deepavali, still in the Deepavali mood.
Yes.
Okay.
Every Friday I'm in a Deepavali mood, Datu, because I love wearing my sari.
Okay.
I've told people that, I don't know whether I wear the sari to run the show or run the show to wear the sari, but it's interchangeable. How are you, Datu?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
And thanks for inviting us to be in this program. And it is something new for me.
Oh, nice. Well, I must thank Desiree. Desiree, we had Desiree as a speaker. I think she brought about a lot of awareness. So did Pleasance as a mom, right? And I know I have a daughter who's dyslexic, so I know the struggles as well.
Okay.
But I think my struggle is very minute when I listen to all the other struggles.
Yep.
So at this time, I think we can do whatever we need to do to actually bring about awareness so that people not only are aware, we can support each other and bring this community together. So thank you very much for joining us. I think you have some supporters who have said hello. I think there's a Hamida Mohammed. Hi Malar, great topic. Thank you for joining us, Hamida. And Maria Khalil, who's also joined us. All the best to Kiwanis Academy. Right. So tell us, right, what is Kiwanis Academy? I know I saw the introduction, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Bringing resources together. So, but tell us your story.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mala. I think the video has given a very good comprehensive background about Kiwanis Malaysia Academy. And we are still quite new. We were set up only in 2019. But before I talk about Kiwanis Academy, let me tell you just a little bit what Kiwanis is. So because Kiwanis Malaysia Academy is sort of an offshoot of the Kiwanis Malaysia. See, Kiwanis is actually an international organization based in Indianapolis. It is, I think, 100 over years old now. And it was brought to Malaysia by the late Tan Sri K. Johari. He was an ambassador, UN ambassador for Malaysia, and he brought back in 1976. And a first club was started in Kuala Lumpur. Okay, so for right now we have more than 50 over clubs, and out of which we have about 17 service center. Service center meaning that we really have a permanent project. We run project, and our focus is children for children. That's why our motto is serving the children of the world. But Kiwanis in particular, we are focusing more on the special needs children, and so the Kiwanis Malaysia Academy came about because we have these service centers which operates in silos. So we thought that we can bring together and provide them with education and training to provide a better service for their target group. But since we started in 2019, we made some inroads. So we have, as you know, that last year we had quite a successful symposium on SEN symposium, special needs education, which is basically to provide a platform for people like academicians, teachers, carers, parents to share, to have a dialogue, to share their whatever their insights into this special needs. As you know that special needs education is not something that is common, because even in the Ministry of Education, out of 7,700 primary school, we only have about 1,700 over only for special need education. So yes, so we are trying to play that role to give the platform for those concerned in this field.
Nice. And tell us how from setting up clubs in Kiwanis, how did we actually decide, okay, we need an academy that brings this together?
Okay, the academy, as you know, that we have the three core imperatives, if you can see in the video just now. That means we are focusing on children, on youth, and also lifelong learning. So basically, these are the three areas. But right now, the Kiwanis Malaysia Academy will be focusing more on the first one and the second, is children and youth. See, there's so many, I think, NGOs and bodies or organizations that focuses on children, but we thought that somebody has, or some organization has to champion, the problem that is faced by special needs children, among the academician parents and all that, to give a better understanding platform or better services, or to give a better life for the children, as you can say, to empower them, to give them a bit of dignity, so by helping them through learning, through education and all.
Thank you very much. I think this is going to be an obvious question, but I'm going to ask obvious question because I do think sometimes when we are not among special needs, we may think we understand, but we may not really understand, right?
Yes, correct.
So what we think we understand and what truly happens when we have special needs kids could be two different things, right? So when you say, I think you brought in two words, one that sort of both inspires and hurts a little bit because you use the word dignity. But before that, you also mentioned, how, within our school system, we don't have enough help for children, right? So let's go into, if you really think about what are the challenges, children, or rather families, let's talk about the families first, right? The parents of special needs children, right?
Correct.
What are the challenges? Because the parents or the families are the one who's looking for resources for the kids, right? So tell us, what are the challenges that you see from the inside world, because you deal with so many parents. Tell us what are the challenges, and and basically we don't have enough help. So talk us through some challenges that you know parents experience.
Yeah, Mala, yeah, that's a good question. See, as you know, that basically special need children comprising dyslexia, autism, Down syndrome, and many more, no, that is not so common. And each and every, what do you call it, disabilities need special treatment to it. Meaning that like, you know, in terms of education, in terms of, say, what do you call it, technology that can boost or enhance their ability to get better to me, as I mentioned, better life, you know, to they can learn, I mean, to be a bit more, to achieve their great potential, to unleash their great potential. Okay, for example, you know, in Down syndrome, I think they have different kinds of needs. You know, Down syndrome is a bit more physical and it's a bit more mental. You know, or learning disabilities, and but include the physical. But in autism, you have a different kind of maybe problem. As you know, autism, they have a spectrum from the mild to the severe one. You know, you can see the severe one that I can see even in the you know, in the Facebook, some parents, how they have to handle very severe cases of autism where the children can become very violent. See, the parent try to understand, and it is such a pressure on the, and stressful on the parents. So like dyslexia, actually, you know, when we say I came from Taman Tun Dr. Ismail Club, when we started a club, a center for children with learning disabilities, we had parents who came crying. I used to beat my children because I thought they're stupid, you know, things like that, you know, things like that. And later he discovered actually there's some problem with, you know, the way they learn because of dyslexia, is, you know, how the brain works. So these are, to mention, these are some of the problems. And sometimes, and I think more importantly, they don't know where to go, what kind of assistance that they can get from anywhere, for that matter. I think government has limited limited resources to help them. That's why I think our Sense Symposium this time, we are focusing on the you know, technology. So we are going to bring all kinds of people information about how can technology help to, you know, to ease their problem. Nice. So basically, Mala, that's it. You see, they looking for avenues where they can get better, you know, help, better sources of what do you call it, help, basically.
Thank you, Dato. So, I mean, I think that's very clear, right? I think, you know, the systems that we have is made for whatever that is normal, what is considered normal. Even that, whatever normal education system, we realize that, you know, parents feel it's lacking. It doesn't equip our children enough for the world. We're already feeling that because we see how much, you know, in this region, we're investing in additional education, i.e. tuition, as well as you know, private education, right? So let's park that aside. And what you're doing is that you say one is within our system we don't have enough help, and you're talking about the various challenges parents experience. So from the example that you gave me, right, that particular example, not all of us have exposure to be aware that our child may have a special, unless it's on the extreme side. Then I think it's kind of easy to say, okay, you know, I know this child is different and, you know, special, and probably you will get a lot of immediate help or advice, all right? But there's an immediate awareness with some. But I think on a level where, you know, like the example of dyslexic, I mean, even with my daughter, right, you know, hey, you know, I'm not too sure what's happening because my child doesn't seem to follow the right or the normal milestone, right? So in your experience, right, tell us a little bit about when parents finally find y'all, however they find y'all, right? In terms of what awareness, how aware are parents about special needs?
Well, I can say that right now, I think we are becoming a bit more, anyway, Malaysia in general is becoming a bit more aware of this special needs. To me, it's like words of mouth, and there are more centers that have been set up. For example, dyslexia, there is a there is an organization, dyslexic organization. So even autism, there are so many NGOs now doing work for autism. And Down syndrome, Kiwanis, I can say that championing for Down syndrome, we have a foundation for that. And also there's various other disabilities. And autism, I think, is now it's quite strong now, you know. There's so many organizations for that. And this is basically like word of mouth, you know. For example, somebody, we receive a lot of emails, somebody referred them to us, for example. So this is what we are trying to play, the platform to give people like one-stop center if we can do that, you know. Because through all this, when through what we call advocacy, you know, we blast all this what do you call it, whatever we are doing. Hopefully this is what you are helping us to blast this idea. So people can always come to, let's say, Kiwanis Malaysia Academy, and we can just do referral, you know. We can just what do you call it, refer the person who asks anything to the right.
Right.
To the right.
Nice.
Yes.
So what I'm hearing is fantastic, right? So if you know of anyone who may need information, you know, just awareness, not sure where to go, at least you just go Google Kiwanis Center, because once you get there, they will then refer you to get the right help, because Kiwanis Nation Academy is under one roof. They're bringing different people with different experience, both expertise and parents, to come together. So whether people are looking for support group or just awareness or help, you can go to a place where there is collective experience, is what I'm hearing. Yeah. And I think that is fantastic. Hi, Rani. Rani is saying, greetings. Balu in a meeting, logged in to support and say hello. Thank you, Rani, for saying hello to us. And James Fong, greetings from Penang. Now, moving back to what you're saying, and what we have actually done, which is really, really critical, right? Can you just maybe highlight, before we go into specifics into what y'all are doing, especially upcoming symposium, right? Tell us, give us one or two stories of lives that has been changed, both parents and children, right? Lives that has been changed as a result of getting the right type of support and help through Kiwanis Academy.
Okay. I give you an example closer to home. Actually, I have a grandnephew who is autistic. But when he was growing up, because like autism, you can't tell, in the beginning. So, but after I think he was 3, my niece noticed that he can't speak well yet. So because of that, she started to sort out, information about. She went for a test, and it was confirmed that he has autism. So after that, she went to all kinds of therapy. But if you see him today, you will never know that he's an autistic person. He can sing. He's very normal. He's such a pleasant boy, So this is really what therapy or intervention can do, to help. Yes. And the other example I can think of is as I mentioned earlier, about this parent who doesn't know that the son is dyslexic. And later on, when he discovered, and he went for intervention and all that, and now the son is doing well, normal, So this is what the intervention can do, Actually, there's a lot of hope still for people with disabilities. But what they need is this kind of inspiration, or this kind of intervention, or people who can, share their experiences and what. For example, some services centers can do.
Nice. Well, I'm thinking, I wish I had known you all a little bit earlier, because, like what I said, my daughter, eldest is was diagnosed with and I don't know how much of help there is, except for the ones that I've searched on my own. And I think with lack of experience, right, you don't even know whether the kind of intervention you are getting is right or the best. Because there is no decision-making abilities, right? Because you don't know what you don't know. And I think this is really fantastic. thank you for the two stories, because what I'm hearing is this, right? If we understand, we're aware of the kind of support our children need, then what happens is that with the right intervention, our children would be able to actually learn what they need to learn, living skills, and
Yeah.
bring their best versions out in life,
Right.
which is the aspiration for all parents, right? Which brings us to the Sense Symposium 2022 that you're organizing. Am I right?
Okay.
Because I think this is really important, because you are looking at this Sense Symposium to actually bring resources together, bring awareness together, bring parents together.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
tell us, a little bit about Sense Symposium 2022, and help introduce us to the Sense Symposium.
Yeah. Okay. Can I invite our chairman for the Sense Symposium? Fab,
Okay,
we call her
waiting
Fab,
to
Fatima
bring her
Bubakar.
on, Fab.
Because she's a very passionate about this. Maybe she can
I can
highlight
see,
things
I can
better.
see.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to give the limelight to Fab for a while, yeah, Dato.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
no
you so
problem.
much.
Fab,
Thank you, Mala. Hi, Dato.
Yeah. Hi.
Thanks, Mala, for doing this for us. As you
Yeah.
know, that we are approaching 10th of November 2022. It's a very momentous event that we are putting together every year. And this is our second year. As you know, last year, we had it only for half a day from 9 to 1. And we
Okay.
had our beloved Puan Nuri Abdullah Badawi as our keynote speaker. And as a spring off of last year's successful Sense Symposium 2021, we are very motivated and encouraged by that when we are challenging ourselves to do it a full day, including lunch hour. So this year we are bringing, as you know, Kiwanis Malaysia Academy aspires to bring about awareness, bring about people from different groups of people around Malaysia, outside of Malaysia. So this year we are very fortunate. I like when you said just now under one roof. And I think we got to do more of that under one roof where we don't work in silo. We work collaboratively in bringing parents, teachers, caregivers, activists, consultants, business owners globally and nationally together, and to discuss the issues and challenges surrounding the area of teaching and learning for our children, like Datuk said just now, children and our youth and also adults for special needs. And this whole idea of the Sense Symposium that was our inaugural Sense Symposium last year, the whole idea is again to enhance understanding. We've got three objectives: to enhance understanding, strengthen network, and impact future of the special education needs, so that we can actually improve the lives of our children and adults with special needs. And it's very interesting that last year, Mala and everybody who's with us live today, last year we had the theme heart-based approach, and this year we are taking the heart-based approach to special education needs one step further, and we're looking at how we can help achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which is unleashing the full potential of our children and adults, especially in the realm of special education needs. And therefore, we are looking into innovation. And the theme is innovation, a reality check, and way forward. Innovation in this particular area of special education needs. So when we bring all these experts, parents, we want to know what is the current state. Do we have enough assistive technology? Because this assistive technology that we learn from developed countries like the US, New Zealand, a lot of research shows that having the assistive technology helping the children in special education needs, just like Dato' have narrated about her nephew, grandnephew, is unleashing that full potential. So we are looking at innovation, what else that we can do, what more that we can do, working together. I like that. I like the collaborative effort. That's why our first keynote address speaker, Yang Berhormat Senator Dato' Rasadiba Razzi, as you know, she is a wonderful person championing this cause for the people with disabilities, both the physical and mental. And her topic is actually the concerted effort in providing this innovation for special education needs. So what we want to do is a reality check, what Malaysia has or has not, and then we want to work together in terms of unleashing those potential by the assistive technology, the learning resources around special education needs, so that parents, teachers, caregivers, these assistive technologies, learning resources are made readily available for them.
Nice.
Right.
I'm feeling so, I feel like I'm in a motivational session, you know, with both of you, because I think this is so inspirational. So going back to, I love the idea of innovation. I love the idea of reality check that you all are doing, you know. I think the idea of innovation itself is fantastic, because you're trying to keep up with the current trend for special needs education, which is like really fantastic now. I want to just check in with you, right, from your experience, right? In terms of reality check, so you spoke about unleashing the potential of children. I think even Dato said that, right? So give us a vision of, you know, some of the potential that you've managed, children have managed to unleash through the work that you all have done. Give us some stories, give us some example. Because I think sometimes, maybe it's just my limited mindset, right? Sometimes we accept that when there are special needs children, that their potential is limited to what we see and what we have designed as potential for others, right? And I think what you are telling me is, and I think we have seen this, you know, through the awareness, through movies, that there's a lot more that we don't know about the gifts that children have, right? And you're championing that. So give us some idea about, when you say unleash potential, specifically in special needs, give us some thinking into it, so that those who don't have, first and foremost, I think if we can begin to actually see potential, I think, and this is where for me what Dato said about, giving them back their dignity. Instead of looking down, is equalizing. This is part of diversity and equity for me, right? But I think first, the rest of the world also need awareness. The way we're looking at children probably has to shift. So again, sorry, long question, but tell us a bit about unleashing potential and what you've seen.
Okay, thanks for that interesting question. Very intriguing. As you know, my background, for your information, I've always been an educationist, teaching in various universities, and my final employment was with Petronas Leadership Center. And I've always worked with, fortunately, I've worked with children, adults, students without any disabilities, you know, and all my life, I've always known, you know, the answer key to the right answer, you know. And when I retire and I was invited by Dato' Fatimah Saad, I'm very grateful, she's my mentor. I have been introduced to this world that I've never known before. And it's a very humbling journey, Mala. And I wish everybody can join forces with us, because I think this is one neglected area, I would say, because all my life, for 35 over years, I've been in universities, in corporate training, and I have never seen that particular world that appealing for our help. So I like to take the, like you said, what is our vision? What is that desired state that we want at the end of the day, you know, for our children? As you know, the number is staggering. all over the world, the number of children with autism, dyslexia, Down syndrome are on the rise. Yeah. Okay. So if we actually neglect, or in the absence of innovation, in the absence of good technology, especially using artificial intelligence, robots, etc., what will be the future of this particular group of children and adults, when the world that we know right now are very, very challenging. You can see that parents who have got children with autism, dyslexia, or Down syndrome, even physical disabilities, yeah. What are their pains? What are their concerns? And I think now that I am involved in Kiwanis more and I visited centers and whatnot, we feel that without our supports mechanism within the environment, these particular NGOs, these particular parents, they definitely need the support mechanism for them to unleash the potential of the children. And I like to share with you what I have seen so far. I have seen one particular autistic adult, and she is now a music teacher. She sings very well, and she's got a band, and I'm looking at the possible potential of championing this group of youngsters. They are our Malaysian precious gems, and if they can be championed by producers to actually come up with an album, for example, that is one of the best ways right now, because youngsters, and again, music is a very universal language. And I have seen a child, like Dato' say, I've seen him singing and he would dance, he would engage with the audience. And I think if nobody told me that Akil is an autistic teenager, I would not have thought that he is. But again, all this success, like Sarah's case study that I shared with you, who is a music teacher now, she sings very well, she's autistic. Also Akil, the thing that is given to them to produce that particular current state that they are in, which is beautiful. They can live on their own, they can have their own livelihood, they can do a lot of things for them. I think this is the world that we want to create for these children. And they can only be their full potential only with the help of people around them, family, friends, neighbors, NGOs like us, activists, people who actually start with the heart. That's why last year we said the only way to approach special education needs, it has to start with our heart. It has to start sincerely with our compassion. Only then we can understand, in order for us to understand them and for them to be understood. And I think we need to be kinder to parents, teachers. I think the least we could do is, reach out to parents, is there anything that we can help? Is there anything that the neighbors can help? For example, your neighbor has got a child with special needs. I think we all are very heavy in terms of our values, especially in all the religions that we believe in, is teaching us the golden rule: do unto others what we want others to do unto us. And I think that golden rule, that principle, is what Kiwanis is based on. And I think it goes a long way to ensure that the sustainable goal of number 4, which is giving the full potential for quality education, regardless whether they are with physical and mental disabilities or not. But what we want to do is to create that better world for our future leaders of Malaysia and the global leaders.
Yeah. I just want to add a little bit to what Fab says. In fact, our club, Kiwanis Club of Taman Tun, has assisted Fab Munira's son. This is about physical disabilities. So we gave him what we call, I don't know what is it called, walker or something. So he's able to walk. Maybe you can elaborate a bit on that.
Yeah. It's a simple thing, like maybe if we can give them more, but it's simple to, like I said, it starts with our heart. Our heart means compassion. I know a lot of people in destitute situation and hopelessness. Sometimes they don't know, they're overwhelmed, they don't know where to go. I've been talking to a friend in the US, introduced by Anne, and Dwayne is the advocate in US, and they managed to get a simple thing that we take for granted, but early diagnosis. So in the US, their right for every child to get diagnosed is at birth. So that is something that I think the best practice that I like to see more of in Malaysia. And sometimes when we talked last year, Puan Nuri in her keynote address speech, the reality check is our number of teachers in special education is still much to be desired. The ratio is 1 to 10, but now we're having 1 to what, 40 maybe? So we need more teachers, more people who are compassionate coming to this particular realm to help them. And I remember one of our club members, she's also an academician in University Technical Melaka, Puan Sherry and her team in UTM Melaka, they actually came up with a software called My Lexic to help children to read better. And the early diagnosis that they are dyslexic. And dyslexic, we've seen a lot of movies, we've heard a lot about it. It's real, and they are at the university. I remember if I was teaching and somebody actually drew something, Mala, in my exam question, as a response to my exam question, they actually draw the answer, I would just give him an F. But now that I understand more of the predicament and the situation that they are in, made aware by people like Sharifah, by Dr. Haziq, by the SENSE Symposium that I helped organize, I am now more compassionate. I have to ask, why is he drawing? Why is he representing his answers in graphic? And I want to ask everybody here, do we as teachers, do we as lecturers in universities, are we trained to look at the telltale signs to help understand them, that they are in this world that we are never being privileged to enter? But I think the time has come for us to actually get to know, get to know their world. How do they perceive the world? How do they learn? Is our teaching methods matching their learning methods? Those are the things that I should have asked as an educationist, but I think I am trying to redeem myself, Mala. I think it's still not too late. It's better late than never. Now I think
you're trying to redeem yourself. I think I'm just going to start a second part of my journey of redeeming myself as a parent to my daughter. Because as you're talking, right? So, thank you for energizing us. I think a couple of questions coming up to me, and this is really, because I love the fact that you say, I think we need to get the right to be diagnosed well at an earlier stage, because what I'm hearing from you in the story of, I think, was it Sarah's, I love to interview her, right? And the story of the physical disability that Dr. Fatima said, I think what I'm hearing is this, right? Number one is, I think, the right to diagnosis, number one, because parents may not know, if it's not obvious enough, that we may actually wait to a much later date to get the right diagnosis, which means that interventions are happening later, which means that for the children to be able to identify, to do the intervention, and to get into the life cycle can be delayed. And that delay means they are getting discriminated, they are actually far behind. It is just not fair, right? So I think that's what I'm hearing, the right to diagnosis, right? So first and foremost, hopefully, we'll get to that space where US is, where, there is a way in our system that the first thing that we do is, the earlier we get diagnosed, number one, the earlier we can get intervention. And you have KMA to then help support the right intervention, because just intervention, going blindly with all sorts of therapy, I think as parents, we don't know enough, even with what we call normal kids. And we also don't know what to do, right? This is especially, there's so much of updates that's happening regularly that, we need to be updated. And thank you for, also telling us how you're bringing in technology, how technology can actually give the right type of intervention that is much needed for our children. I think so. That's what I'm actually taking back. Get diagnosed early. So we need that to be as part of the system. And if it's not part of the system, this is where I think KMA is really, really very useful in the interim period before we wake up in our education system, because it needs to be available for everybody, right? So that's what I'm hearing: right diagnosis, early diagnosis, and then the right sort of intervention.
Interventions, yeah.
And that's what this symposium is all about. Now, before I go into what Aditi has said, the question for me is that, because you said more and more kids are getting diagnosed, right? I'm curious, are we saying there's an increase, or we are now able to identify the increase because we are able to diagnose and there's awareness? What's your thought on that?
Datuk, would you like to respond to that? But as far as I am concerned, like Datuk said, the number of children, with autism, dyslexia, and Down syndrome is on the rise. And I know I've spoken to a few friends who are pediatricians. They are now more aware, to look at some of the signs. Yeah, early. I've spoken to a few doctors. I've spoken to my sister also. She's the director in Kementerian Kesihatan. So being Kiwanis activist, so I asked her, I said, what is the stand? And I think, slowly and gradually we are going to get there.
Yeah.
But the only thing that we do not have that is the right, the hak asasi that you got to diagnose every child at birth. That one kita tak ada lagi. We are not yet there. But Datuk, would you like to add anything?
I think basically this is about, to some extent, exposure, education, because a lot of people now are more exposed to through the social media, especially through the social media. And then there are more NGOs coming up on special needs. So this kind of awareness has increased as compared to, let's say, 20-30 years ago. Okay, so as I mentioned, when we started in 1995, the Kiwanis of Taman Tun, that's when we started the center, and a lot of people do not realize that their children have problem. And also, secondly, I think a lot of parents, some parents, they have this sort of denial problem. So they when they see something is not quite right with the children, they just it's okay, because, like as I mentioned, if let's say the child can't speak, the child can you can see the behavior or character is a bit problematic. So a lot of the parents are denial. They don't want to go to seek for help until that thing becomes a bit more serious or dominant, in their life. So basically, to me, it's just it's the exposure environment, So now more and more, I think through the social media can play a lot of role in this, because a lot of people also hoping for the government to come up with something. So, but now actually the NGO is really taking up a lot of this role, to create awareness in the public.
Yeah. So, but in terms of the numbers rising, right? Because I for me, there are two contributors. There might be more, right? There is also evidences that's showing up that some of these conditions are very much induced by lifestyle, i.e. stress. That it's ADHD, parts of, autism spectrum. Right? So there is a school of thought now that's coming through to say not all, but some of this is induced by lifestyle, i.e. stress. So the numbers are rising. Of course, there's awareness, because in the past, for some reason, I think I'm probably dyslexic, right? Because I know I couldn't read, I couldn't differentiate a lot of things right into my teenagehood. But, we coped. We coped with labels that you're slow, you're stupid, you're not so clever, right?
Yep.
No. But today, we now know that the current education system does not have tools to help a particular need, right? Now we are recognizing that, which is already fantastic, right? But there are also some conditions that, which is physical, that we may not be aware of. So when you talk about rising of the numbers, right, from your research, what are the factors beyond awareness, beyond diagnosis, because now we are diagnosing and we are able to label it, right? Are there any factors that is actually contributing to the rising?
Yeah, correct. Okay, if I may answer that, Mala, for example, let's say, again, sorry, I have got to, because this is what I know. For example, like my grandnephew I mentioned earlier, yeah. So he was diagnosed with autism. So, but he's considered as high functioning. There is more of the higher, he's bright, he's smart, but there's some problem like emotional and so on. But for example, right now, he is into one area. For example, he's so much into music, arts, and all that. But to what extent he get this kind of help? You know what I mean? There's no school, there's no NGO that can help him unleash his potential. So right now, the parent is paying themselves to a private, the Awi Raphael. I don't know whether you heard that. Heard of him? Very famous, I think, artist. He's learning singing from this Awi Raphael. But what happens if the parents cannot afford that?
I was just
something like 250 ringgit per hour or something like that, you see. So what I mean is, after that, beyond that, yes, I do agree. Beyond that, where can they go for help? For example, like I heard stories. We have a Down syndrome center in KL, and but it's only up to 6 years old. And after that, when they go to the normal school, they sort of backtrack, because they don't have the right kind of stimulation or backup for them to unleash their potential. So basically, this can be another symposium in the future. How do you go from just diagnosis, after diagnosis, how else can you help them to unleash their potential?
So it's diagnosis and continuous intervention, updating
intervention, yes.
And not limited, education is not limited to a particular age, is what you're saying, right? Because we all need it anyway. And which is why I think your 3 pillars, that it's for children, youth, and lifelong learning. So thank you very much. I'm just going to read out a couple of comments while I wait for both of you to probably, have your final say to the people who are listening. Aditi Joshi is saying something very important. When we know better, we do better. And listening today helped me to see and understand more. Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Malar, and your guests for bringing this focus. I absolutely agree with you, because we all need to listen better. And I think Fab actually said it, we need to now start, when we see something that we don't understand, instead of judging it, maybe say, hey, why? And that why is a good enough curiosity in a way to support. Pastor Panir runs a home. He says such a crucial topic to talk about. Thank you, Mala. Thank you, Pastor. Now you know where some of this of your children can go. And Pleasance is a mom. She says, in my opinion, proper awareness. Yes, I agree. Awareness, normalizing. Yes, and that's removing of the stigma of special needs or learning disabilities, and I'm going to add difficulties, will help more parents get help for their children much earlier in an affordable manner. I think the part we forget is getting help is one, but making it affordable is really important, because parents with special needs need to be more present at home, which means that likelihood of losing an income is higher. Number one, because children need a lot more physical support in the beginning, right? And also making, I think, interventions expensive. It can't be that way, And that, for me, that's hak asasi, our basic human rights.
Hak asasi,
it's hak asasi. We need to get the help that we need. Panir again goes ahead and says, we have We have a child diagnosed as autistic and thankfully was enrolled in a special needs school in Subang Jaya. He has gone for vocational training and hopes to be a baker soon. Oh, nice, Manir. Thank
So
you.
nice, yeah.
Nice, Manir. Thank you. But we really like support from government agencies on how to handle children with ADHD, dyslexic, and ETC. Okay, we pray, but more than we pray, I think this is what I think both Dato and Fab said, when if we are in a space where we think we can contribute, let's contribute, let's not wait anymore. I think the reason Kiwanis and KMA is there is because we decided not to wait for people to do their jobs the way they're supposed to. Okay, challenges, and hopefully things will change after November, but let's see, right? Desiree says challenges will be there. Platforms like KMA Sense Symposium helps us to talk about these challenges and move forward. Yes, Desiree, thank you for being one of the other champion. Making it affordable is key, Pleasant. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Sandeep says, I have a hard stop now. Thanks and guest speakers for taking up global subject and bringing awareness, diagnosis through sessions about care and needs of special needs. Thank you, Sandeep. Now, before we say goodbye, can I just check in with First Feb? What would you like to tell people about the symposium and why they shouldn't miss it?
Well, I think you shouldn't miss it because when you register with us, you're part of the database that we want to get you to join forces with Kiwanis Malaysia Academy. It's a lifelong journey together. So whatever support that we can get from each other. And I think I love the idea of a concerted effort, everybody working not in silos but under the same roof. And I think you shouldn't miss it because we've got lineups of fantastic, awesome speakers, including Mala. And we've got Dato' Razadiba Radzi, we've got Professor Apta, who's also our UNESCO chair. She teaches in Asia Pacific University. We've got Dr. Drew Mallory, all the way from Chulalongkorn University. And he is talking, I heard from Dato' Fatima, he's coming to Malaysia during that particular period of the Sense Symposium so that we can engage and do more. And we've got a former judge from Brunei. We've got fantastic global speakers from the US, from Malaysia. And the best thing is we've got one particular PhD doctor, Dr. Daniel is fantastic because he himself is an autistic adult. So he actually went into studying PhD, to actually study more about himself and how he can support others. And I just got very interested with the numbers. And my check recently is 100. Okay, 100 child in every 100 child, there is already one child who's autistic. And the number, Mala, just to share with you, is the fact that, like Datuk said, a lot of parents are in denial. But now they are more aware, so they go and get diagnosed. So the number is actually increasing, which is a good thing, because I think, like you very well said just now, early diagnosis, early intervention, and we can unleash their potential. And one of the spring-off of our innovation, our Sense Symposium this year, Mala and everybody, I hope you always stay tuned with us and look up for our advertisement. It's a face-to-face innovation carnival that we like to do up in Penang, we are collaborating with University Science Malaysia. And that's where all the vendors, all the technologies, all the fantastic gadgets, technology, learning resources are going to be brought together under one roof. At the same time, we're going to have gallery walk for all the children and adults who are autistic, Down syndrome, dyslexic, physical disabilities, and they are going to have the opportunity to tell their stories. So don't miss it. And also Dato' just told me the idea of coming out with parents for special education needs, maybe a workshop with them. We want to get to know what are some of the things that we can do to help. So more like training needs analysis by Kiwanis Malaysia Academy. So we hope to see you on the 10th of November. See you there. Thanks, Mala.
That's a lot, man. Thank you very much. Fab, I'm very sure people will know why they need to. Dato, is there anything else you would like to leave the
Yes.
audience?
The last, what I want to say is I like the quotation somebody gave just now. Know better, understand better, and do better. So this is basically it. So the more we know, the better we can do things. That's all. Thank you very much, and hope you all join our symposium. And let's work as a, as a force, for the better of special need children. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the call to be one community again. Thank you, Dato, and Fab. Thank you very much. Wishing you all the best. I'm looking forward to learning till we meet. I wish you all the best. So as we say goodbye to Dato. Oh. Kirtana is trying to get rid of me from this organization. I don't know why she has. So thank you to everybody who has joined us. I really, really hope that you would share this with people as much as you can, so that this can be one simple way to share and create awareness in our community, while we all get together and back up. And we want an equal world. We need to start one with creating awareness, number two, support where we can. With that, thank you for joining us in Being Whole, Being Me, Series 79, Championing Special Needs Education. Well, as usual, remember to subscribe to our YouTube so that we can bring you more information. With that, this is Mala from Hearts and Minds signing off. Stay safe till I meet you next week with another guest, another inspiring topic. Bye.